Neither WJOU or its licensee, Oakwood University, necessarily share all the views expressed in its programs. They are, however, presented as public information.
Good afternoon and welcome to Second Chance. Second Chance is a weekly talk show that examines a wide range of social issues and seeks to inspire physical, emotional, social, and spiritual healing, believing that God is a God of second chances. And through faith, all things are possible. Second Chance airs live each week from the beautiful campus of Oakwood University and features real people with real issues and offers real answers. And now, here's your host, Kenneth Anderson.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Second Chance radio broadcast. I'm Kenny Anderson. As always, delighted to be here with you in the studio for the broadcast. It is Sunday, September the 14th, which means that it is week 2 of Jazz in the Park, Huntsville. And if you're not on a live stream today, you don't get a chance to see this dope shirt that I'm wearing. That's actually advertising this event. I want to thank everybody who came out last Sunday for the big kickoff. It was an amazing experience with thousands of people in the park, great music, great community fellowship, great food trucks, and we plan to do more of the same on this afternoon. I'll talk a little bit more and also thank all of our sponsors and supporters and other participants a little late in the broadcast, but I have a very special guest that I want to talk to right now, and I'm going to give those listening this afternoon at 90.1 FM, which is the radio, WJOU.org, which is the internet, and those who perhaps have discovered the live stream at WJOU.org, Praise 90.1 FM, a chance to hop over to that live stream on either YouTube or Facebook, because we really have some great information to share with you on this afternoon. And I won't delay the process any longer because I see he is sitting there and ready to roll, and I'm so happy that he is. He is none other than Dr. Columbus Batiste, an interventional cardiologist. We'll tell you a little bit more about what that is, what that means, and why he's with me today as the co-founder of Healthy Heart Nation, affectionately known as the Healthy Heart Doc. Dr. Batiste, what is going on with you this afternoon?
Hey, I'm in the right place at the right time with the Kenny. Listen, it's always great to connect with you.
Hey, man, it's great to connect to you, too. And the feeling is mutual, and it just means that we're going to have a great conversation that's really going to tie into how people can live healthier lives. And I know as a medical professional and me as a lay person who is very invested in the healthcare space and the health management lifestyle space, this is a great time to talk. We're going to let people know about this great conference that's coming up, in fact, and we're going to let them know a lot about that in a little while. But, of course, we always have to start with the journey and let people know why you're in the space that you're in right now. Talk to people a little bit about what you do as an interventional cardiologist and what really directed you into this particular space. I know there were some family challenges and some transitions that took place as a consequence of that. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so thanks for that. I'll tell you, I grew up in a home like many people where education was emphasized. And I wasn't given much of an option. It was like, are you going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a business person? Would you choose, right? And so I gravitated towards medicine. I fell in love with the heart for obvious reasons and just the magic of how it works and then learning about how it is still the undisputed #1 killer globally since 1918. And so that's what led my passion. So as an interventional cardiologist, my job is to go in and help patients who are in the throes of a heart attack. And my goal is to stop a heart attack in its throes, reestablish blood flow to the coronary arteries, and to help them live a better life. But not in addition, also helping heart failure, helping individuals who perhaps have electrical disturbances, those who have structural issues that somehow can impact their heart. We call that valvular heart disease. All these areas are within the domain of interventional cardiology.
Talk to me a little bit about, because we take for granted things sometimes, we as
Yeah.
people, and we kind of hear words and think about things. And, as terrifying as it may seem, we don't always dig below the surface.
Yeah.
Talk to us in layman's terms about what is a heart attack
Yeah.
and just what is that whole dynamic of that
Yeah.
experience?
Well, a heart attack basically is where you have an abrupt avalanche that obstructs the blood flow to the arteries and supplying the heart. And so the way I think of it, the easy way to think of it is that your body the vessels are layered. Think of it like little small pimples. And we've all had pimples. Now, we don't all have beautiful skin like Kenny Anderson, but at some point in time, you may have had some small pimples as a kid growing up. And these pimples have different levels of height to them. But what happens is that they become red, they become inflamed, and they might burst and they release their contents. Well, the same thing happens on the inner lining of your vessels. But when those areas, those bumps burst, your body goes into overdrive to heal that. And it releases a number of different substances, sticky substances that will cause an occlusion, a clot to form. That will obstruct the blood flow. That then results in symptoms. Now, here's the thing that's so crazy. Everyone's symptoms are different. So some may have crushing chest pain. Some may feel like it's heartburn. Some may feel like it's a little indigestion. They may feel their shoulder hurting, a little bit fatigued. They may feel short of breath or a little bit disoriented. The symptoms can vary according to the individual. And that's what's so important about being aware and trying to stop it before it ever happens. That's what's most important.
One of the things that we also talk a lot about are things that may lead to a heart attack or things that may damage the heart over time. And we hear words like congestive heart disease and congestive heart failure. What are we talking about?
Yeah. So as a result of, it could be a number of things. So when we talk about heart failure, that's either where your heart is not squeezing well, it's not strong enough, or it squeezes so strong, it's stiff and it doesn't relax. And so we call two forms. One is heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, or it's congestive heart failure that's a result of a weakened heart muscle. Then you can have congestive heart failure that's a result of a stiff heart muscle or heart failure with preserved ejection fraction. So in both instances, a lot of times they are a result of a multitude of issues. It could be from high blood pressure. It could be from diabetes, multiple things. It could be from multiple small attacks through heart attacks that you never perceive. What's so interesting is, there was a movie a long time ago. I know you're too sanctified to watch this, but Indiana Jones. So Indiana Jones was like this. He's this archaeologist that would go searching for lost artifacts. Well, we call the Indiana Jones of medicine pathologists. And what pathologists have found is that individuals will have layers upon layers of old healed heart attacks that they never perceived before the one that ends their life. That means that our body is in this constant warfare of illness versus wellness. And the question really is, how are we taking care of our bodies? How are we taking care of the health that we've been given to optimize our ability to live the life we're supposed to?
And then, of course, this is probably going to cause listeners to lean into the broadcast, and it may cause some listeners to lean back from the broadcast.
Yes.
Much of what we're talking about is directly related to lifestyle choices. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I see lifestyle choices are just like every other decision we make inside of our daily lives. So, I understand, Kenny, that you no longer are the unofficial mayor of Huntsville, Alabama anymore. You stepped down from that role. Has it been about a year or so now?
Yeah, it's been about a year.
Okay. So now, how many years were you working before you decided to step down and do your own thing?
50 years.
50 years. Now, so imagine this 50 years if you never invested in your retirement. You say, I'm living life the way I want to live. I'm doing everything except for that. Do you think you will be able to live life the way that you're living right now?
No.
Not at all. And so that's the same thing with our health. We have to invest in our health early on. Now, here's the thing. If you missed a few months or weeks of investing early on in your career, it wouldn't be horribly detrimental. It's like, okay, you know what? You did a little bit, but you were consistent overall. If you waited until 45 years to start investing, you have to pour everything that you make into it. It's the same thing with our health. If we start off when we're in college and we take the time to get our rest and to eat foods that are health promoting, I like to ask patients, what are you eating for your health? I don't like to come from a negative standpoint of don't eat this or don't eat that, but what are you eating for your health? And let's think about that. And if we're consistently saying we're going to invest in our health future by what we consume, both mentally and physically, how we move and how we rest our body, how you move your body, how you rest your body, how you feed your body are the three pillars towards this. Now you're laying the foundations for future health and increasing the odds. It never gives you a guarantee. It increases the odds. And that's all we're looking for is we're trying to decrease the risk and increase the odds of success.
We really are what we eat. There's no doubt about that. And when we're younger, we perhaps don't spend as much time thinking about those things. As you just so appropriately noted, it's better to start earlier than later on these matters, but we really are what we eat. And people who are conscientious about their course in terms of their lifestyle are really thinking about what they eat and how they eat. And of course, we're going to talk in just a few moments about this awesome conference that really leverages people's ability to focus on those things that are essential to thinking about how do I live strong as I age. Talk to me a little bit about this whole journey of diet. You've just alluded to it a little bit, but I want to get a little deeper into that and the notion of how so much of what we do in terms of what we eat is destructive. But talk to me about that process and that dynamic in our lives.
Yeah, listen, truth is I grew up Adventist, right? I went to Oakwood, went to Adventist college, went to Adventist medical school, and true to form, I kind of minimized the health message. I did not really think much about it. And so even though I wasn't necessarily eating animal products, and so our church a lot of times it emphasizes, oh, don't eat meat. It's not just about what you don't do. It's about what you do for your health. What are you doing for your health? What are you doing to spur things on? And so what studies have shown is that all the medications that we use, everything from Ozempic and the GLP-1s to our PCSK9 inhibitors for treatment of cholesterol lowering or statins, all these things, even blood pressure lowering medications, guess what they're based upon? Foods of the earth. That when you start to look at all of the things of the fruits, the vegetables, the whole grains, the beans, legumes, the nuts, and the seeds, I didn't know this when I was going through biochemistry as a major. I've since have learned about the fact that there is a unique pathophysiology of how these nutrients actually work to our benefit. They are an investment in our health future when we consume adequate amounts of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, legumes, nuts, and seeds. So if we emphasize these things and come from a positive mindset, because I'll tell you, a positive mindset also plays a substantial role. So man thinketh, so is he, that our belief studies have told us the power of the mind in terms of disease outcome. So when I begin to believe and I begin to understand the power of these nutrients, we know that it can lower blood pressure. We know it can transform diabetes and send it into remission. We understand that it can help strengthen the lining of the vessels to lower blood pressure. And here's the thing. There was a study that was done looking at what's called the DASH diet. And this was looking at dietary adjustments for systolic hypertension. And what they found is, especially in the African-American community, it resulted in the greatest benefit, nearly 12 millimeters of mercury lowering of blood pressure. I'll tell you why that's so important, Kenny. Every 5 millimeters that your blood pressure goes down, you decrease your risk of coming to see someone like me by 10%. That's powerful.
Wow. Yeah.
That studies have told us that when you consume your fruits and vegetables and whole grains, you are probably on par, may lower your bad cholesterol by anywhere from about 15 to 25% based on how much you're consuming. Now, when you add garlic and you add all these other things, you begin to amplify the process of how you're able to stimulate the body to improve towards a state of wellness. So it's not smoke and mirrors. And so what I learned as a result, I just got off of a cruise. Now, it wasn't a vacation cruise. I was lecturing. I had to do listen, it was a hard life, but somebody's got to live it. All right. I had to give 4 lectures. And so someone came up and he said, "Are you Adventist? I saw you went to Loma Linda." I said, "I am." And he said, I'm beating myself up. Why didn't I ever do this stuff? And I grew up Adventist.
Wow.
I said, "You know why? Because now you understand that there is actually scientific rigor that justifies and explains that there is a scientific proof to this." It's not just someone just speaking
Mhm.
and saying that this is what you need to do
Mm.
from a standpoint of salvation. It's
Mm.
from a standpoint of saying, listen, your health can be transformed. That allows you to live your purpose. That's the reason to eat healthfully,
Mm.
not to just live life, but to so you can live your purpose.
That's right. That's right. Boy, this is so inspiring. And I know that people that are listening this afternoon are taking lots of notes, and they should be motivated and excited by what we're saying. It is a lot easier to stay healthy than it is to try to regain your health. And so
Yes.
if we could say anything this afternoon to help people move in that direction, that would be great. I mentioned earlier that Dr. Batiste and his team are coordinating an event called the Help Conference. And that conference is coming up very, very soon from now. This is September 14th, so just about 3 to 4 weeks from now. They will be descending upon Jupiter, Florida, and it will be an absolutely incredible 3 days of these kinds of information sharing moments and networking and eating good and healthy and nutritionally. As you can see, Dr. Batiste, I'm pretty excited about it. I think I might even be coming, but
I think so.
but I want to let people know about the opportunity that this conference provides for them.
Yeah. So, I mean, first I want to tell you, so when we talk about the conference, the background of the conference is really set on the backdrop of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. And it really emphasizes the importance of this conference, which is the HELP conference. So we understand that with the signing of this bill, that many across America, across different demographics, financial, ethnic, gender, are going to lose their access to healthcare. We also know as a result of this bill that millions will lose their access to food through SNAP, that they will increase our food insecurity. What this tells us is there's no time like the present for us to engage in helping others, that we need to go ahead and lean in, because guess what? The health of this country, of your local communities, of your local villages will not transform without the collective efforts of all of us. That's what the HELP Conference is about. Yes, we are going to educate you on the science of, listen, of what's happening, of how lifestyle can play a role, not lifestyle in separate from traditional medicine, but lifestyle first, then relying upon that secondarily, and knowing what to ask and how to ask for it so you can know what to do in your own homes, which is so powerful in these upcoming years. But that's just day one. The day two is the part that excites me. King, something just hit me that what we should have done is we talk about the power of the community and what individuals are doing in the community. So in year one, we brought in places of faith. We brought in places of higher education. We brought in all these aspects of hospital systems, of what they're doing beyond their walls to help build the health of the community. This year, we're looking at individuals who've made an impact, boots on the ground, building community gardens, working with churches to transform, doing work in the community for kids and the structure. But I will tell you, at the heart of all of this is health literacy.
Mm.
It doesn't mean people are illiterate, but what it means is that if you are a scientist and you're a computer technologist, I may not be, even though I'm an educated person, a computer technologist. You have to make it plain for me. And so health literacy is the ability and understanding the importance of making it plain in your communities and providing an access to resources that are life promoting, health promoting, and therefore life promoting. And I would say this, that the podcast of what you do is an avenue of health promotion. I would say that as you bring individuals on and you express and you convey the power, you are as equally important as the person who is there planting gardens, who are doing the activities, who are doing blood pressure screenings,
Mm.
that what you do in terms of bringing awareness to thousands, if not millions of individuals on a daily basis is powerful. And that's what we all are called to do, is to see how can we reinvigorate our communities. Once again, not just so we can live life, but we can live life well. And we can live life with a purpose. And that's what the Hope Conference is about. It's a 2-day course, a 2-day lecture series. It's over the weekend, so you can get back to work. It's in a beautiful location. I'll tell you, Florida's going through a lot right now. They have a lot of challenges that are happening, and so there is a need for us to go into the heart of the fire, the crucible of conflict, and to be able to reinvigorate those communities that are at risk, those communities that are in despair. And I'll tell you what, they may look like you in the mirror, but they may look like everyone that doesn't look like you. Everyone
Mm.
is at risk right now.
Mm.
That's what this time is telling us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, especially to our friends listening in Florida, we live in a world without borders today. So you can come from wherever you might be for all this great information. But especially our friends listening in Florida, this is an opportunity for you to have a very intentional and very strategic conversation about how you can increase the quality of your life in the midst of facing tremendous challenges. I was listening as Dr. Batiste was talking. I was getting really excited because, I'm this community engagement guy, and I always like bringing people in from the community to be a part of the bottom line. And you said a couple of things I want to follow up on because I know Healthy Heart Nation really has begun digging deep into these elements of the community. One of the things that I know you do is you go where the people are. And it's just a smart strategy and a smart technique. So you have reached out to barbershops and other community agencies to do blood pressure screening and more. You also talked about the community garden element. We have one right here in Huntsville that is hosted by the Madison County District Commissioner, Violet Edwards. Shout out to her.
Yes.
And she is making it possible to neutralize the impact of food deserts in a marginalized community. And so it's important for us to know about these kinds of things and engage. And I love the fact that this is a centerpiece of what you all do.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's a must. It's a must. I mean, so it's almost paramount to saying, I appreciate you for babysitting your kids. This is what we're called to do. It's what we're supposed to do. And so the reality of it is that what is the point of staying lofty somewhere else and allowing those around you to suffer? And so it's important to go where people live, work, play, and pray, where they're trusted, building relationships and understanding that, listen, their journey is no different than my journey of my family. I've had my dad passed away from diabetes. I've had individuals in my family with cancer, with prostate cancer, with breast cancer, who struggled with weight issues. I've had all the same issues that everyone else has had. You deal with the stressors of life, both financial and discriminatory stressors that are there, and understanding that, guess what? We have to focus on the resiliency. And the resiliency is formed by coming together, that we become closer, tighter, and better. There's a beautiful, I'm gonna give you one last little scientific, I have to throw these science in there to make sure you know I'm a doctor. I'm really in the doctor, right? And
not just playing one on TV.
Not just playing one on podcast TV, right?
Right.
So here there's a awareness that's come to place in about the past 20 years about the importance of what we call the gut microbiome. And that is really a situation that we are actually more bacterial DNA than we are human DNA. And we live in this microcosm of bacteria inside of our colon and intestines. And so what we know is that studies have told us that the more diverse that colony is, the stronger that individual is. That collectively, the more diverse that microbiome is, the more you're able to withstand the infectious onslaughts, the more you're able to withstand heart disease, mental ailments too as well. And guess what happens to feed it? It's not just the fiber-rich food. Of course it is, the fruits, the vegetables, the whole grains, the beans, legumes, nuts, and seeds, but also your mindset. The fresh air, the way what you consume in terms of activity, in terms of whether or not you're moving more than you're sitting. All these things plays a significant role in who you choose to build up in your body. I used to tell my kids when they were small, are you feeding the good guys or feeding the bad guys? So I ask your listeners right now, are you feeding the good guys or the bad guys by how you're eating, how you're moving, and how you're resting? And I'll tell you, you can feed the good guys by coming to the HELP Conference October 10th through 12th, 2025 inside Jupiter, Florida. I look forward to seeing you. I hope I can see them there with you.
Absolutely. And what is the website that people can get information?
Thank you. Yes, it's thehelpconference.org. I watch sports and like they say, the Ohio University, it gives a level of importance to it. So I want to say thehelpconference.org is the one you want to go to, and you can register there. Let me tell you what you get with it.
Yep.
Right. You don't just get conversation. You don't just get Kenny Anderson there inside the audience there and so forth. You actually are going to get continuing medical education if you're a healthcare provider, continuing educational units. If you're a nurse too as well, you are going to have too as well included incredible meals. All your meals are going to be finely crafted to your health and wellness. You're going to come away. It was such amazing last year, Kenny. Last year, someone came in and they report that their blood pressure had been consistently in the 180s over nearly 100s before coming to the conference. After eating just the food at the conference, they said their blood pressure had dropped below 140 over 80.
Wow.
In a matter of days.
Wow.
That's the power. And I'm not telling you that's going to be your benefit, that you're going to walk away free of medications and weight is reduced. But I will tell you that you will feel invigorated and powerful by coming to the conference. You'll have the opportunity to connect with individuals who are there, who are doing the boots on the ground work, and hopefully be a steward of change moving forward, not a passive observer. We want to be, I was watching The Crown years ago. One of the royals inside the movie of The Crown, they said, you know, life is over when you become an observer. You're no longer a participant. I don't want anyone out there to be an observer. Yeah. Let's get in the game. Let's get in the fight together, and let's be a participant inside this change that needs to happen in our communities.
I want to ask you as a closing point, you've been at this work for so many years now, and you've gone through, you've evolved through the process. You've seen things, experienced things, learned some things. Just a lot has happened. Where are you in terms of your optimism about your message right now and people's receptiveness to that message as a doctor?
Yeah. I've always focused on the power of one. If I worry about the masses and I worry about reaching 1,000, 10,000, 1 million individuals, I'm gonna lose sight and I'll get stressed. I care about one individual, and that's the individual that's in front of me in that moment. That if I have the ability to transform a life and convince you about the power of changing your diet, but your mindset and lifestyle as a whole, I recognize that that will have a domino effect, and that will be more powerful than me going out and telling someone else. So that's what my focus is on. And, you know, I think that we have to stay committed to individuals and less than specific numbers. But I'm hopeful. I'm encouraged. There's a level, I think, that out of every struggle in this world, there's always an opportunity. You know, right? Isn't that what Kennedy brought forth? The Chinese the code for danger, right? Is opportunity, right? We're looking at opportunity that's there, and we're looking, an opportunity is what we're looking in this particular moment. What is our opportunity to impact during this world we're living in right now, and all the things that are happening? You know, we need to be coming together to promote education and provide resources to allow students to get the education that they need. We need to be able to empower our communities and support individuals irrespective of how they look, black, brown, green, yellow, whatever. We need to be able to support everyone, because there's so many who are under attack. And if we wait and cower and say, well, it's not happening to us, it's coming for us. Disease is coming for us. Right. Death is coming for us. Conflict is coming for us. We have to be aggressive and unite together as one in order to move things forward. I feel much more passionate about that, much more outspoken about those sort of things than I ever have in my life over the past five plus years.
That's great. He is Dr. Columbus Batiste. He's an interventional cardiologist. He is the co-founder of Healthy Heart Nation. They are the producers of an amazing conference that you don't want to miss called the HELP Conference. And one final time, Dr. Batiste, where can they get information about this awesome conference?
Yes, check out thehelpconference.org. That's HELP conference.org. October 10th through 12th. Look forward to seeing you there for sure.
And I look forward to seeing you there too. And I look forward to seeing all of our listeners who might be considering coming now, because Dr. Batiste has wet your whistle and fired you up about learning more about how to improve your lifestyle. Dr. Batiste, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's been a pleasure as always. Long overdue there, sir.
That's right.
Long overdue.
And we got to get back to your book. We'll do that. I think we covered the first 3 chapters. We got to get back to your book and let the listeners know how they can stay on track there as well. We'll do that in the near future.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks so much.
All right, my brother. Take care, man.
All right. Take care.
All right. That's Dr. Columbus Batiste. He's an interventional cardiologist. He holds it down out on the West Coast, but he goes wherever he needs to go in order to carry the message of lifestyle and making sure that people are making smart decisions about the things that they choose to eat and the things that they choose to do and the ways that they choose to think. You heard him cover all of those bases today, and we appreciate that. I'm going to come back in just a moment, and I'm going to actually share some community highlights And then we're going to have a very special guest on at the top of the hour. I'll be back in just a few moments. I'm Kenny Anderson. It's Second Chance. I hope you're having an amazing day.
I hear the sound of a mighty rushing wind, and it's closer than it's ever been. I can almost hear the trumpet as Gabriel sounds the call. At the midnight cry, we'll be going. I look around me, I see prophecies fulfilled. Signs of the time, they're appearing everywhere. Oh, I can almost see the Father as He said, "Son, go get my children." And at the midnight cry, bride of Christ will rise when Jesus steps out of the cloud to call His children. Dead in Christ shall rise to meet Him in the air. Then those that remain shall be quickly changed with the change of at the midnight cry. We'll be going home. I look around me, I see prophecies fulfilled everywhere. The signs of the time, they're appearing everywhere. Oh, I can almost see the Father as He says, "Son, go get my children." Yes. Oh, and at the midnight cry, the bride of Christ midnight cry. At the midnight cry. Oh, when Jesus, 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 oh, the cloud to call his children. Oh, the dead in Christ shall rise to meet him in the at the midnight cry. Oh, at the midnight cry. Yes, at the midnight cry. We'll be going home. We'll be
Save a place for me, save a space for me in your heart.
Every year, the United Negro College Fund helps thousands of students go to college. But for everyone we help, there's one we can't, not without the funds.
Save a place for me.
Please support the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Call 1-800-332-UNCF.
A message from the Ad Council.
Transforming lives.
Transforming lives.
Transforming lives.
You're listening to Second Chance with Kenneth Anderson.
Welcome back to the broadcast. I hope that you enjoyed my conversation with Dr. Columbus Batiste, who kicked things off for us today. And we're very appreciative to learn about the HELP Conference and all about the ways that you can absolutely work towards transitioning in your life to make sure that your life is being lived in the most healthy way possible. And, you know, we talk about health a lot on this broadcast because we think that it's one of the most important things to talk about. And we're not just talking about physical health, we're talking about emotional health, mental health, and spiritual health. And because there's so many different dimensions of that, we like to make sure that you're staying plugged into that process. So absolutely check out thehelpconference.org, thehelpconference.org, and you will be glad that you did. I wanted to share an official announcement from the Draper family here in Huntsville, Alabama. With heavy hearts, the Draper family announces that our beloved matriarch, Willie Mae Draper, has been called from labor to reward. After a life marked by faith, prayer, and service, she has heard him say, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant." Though our hearts are grieving, we rejoice in knowing she now rests in the arms of Jesus. Truly, she has fought a good fight, finished her course, and kept her faith. We're grateful for every prayer, every visit, every act of kindness, and every expression of love extended to our family during this time. Your support strengthens us as we prepare for her homegoing, where we will celebrate a life well lived and a legacy that will live on. Of course, further details are being made at this time. In fact, they may be already in place at this time. You can go to royalfh.com to learn more about the details of that service. Pastor Dave Draper, of course, a friend of mine, and also a fellow board member with Partnership for a Drug-Free Community, a person I respect and have known for many years. Have been in the presence of his mother Willie Mae Draper, for many, many years. And remember when she turned 100 years old, almost 3 years ago. Mother Draper was 102 when she passed. And we ask that you will keep the Draper family in your thoughts and prayers as they experience this moment of transition and reflection as it relates to their loved one. As I said earlier, Jazz in the Park, Part 2, kicks off at 5 o'clock this afternoon right here in Huntsville, Alabama, in Big Spring Park West. That's the other side of the park from where we've done it for the past 9 years. And in this 10th anniversary year, there's a lot of stuff to be proud of. On last week, we kicked things off. It was an absolutely incredible and amazing event that took place. There were literally thousands and thousands of people out in the park. There was great music, great fellowship, and a great spirit of community. The vibe was unbelievable. And I wanted to say to those that came out that I really, really appreciate your support for this effort. And even though I'm no longer technically with the city of Huntsville, where I started this in August of 2015, as a one-day event. And my partner, Bernard Lockhart, and I from Magic City Smooth Jazz, who was the founder of Jazz in the Park in Alabama, was the person who gifted us this beautiful thing that we now know as Jazz in the Park that takes place on every Sunday night in September, year after year. And of course, we have modified, we have grown, we've stumbled, we've learned. There have been lots of things that have happened in that space, and we're so happy and so honored to bring the 10th anniversary edition to you. We, of course, have a wonderful and beautiful privilege and opportunity to be able to experience the music in the park. We love it in the park. If we ever have to go inside, and that's only happened about 3 times in the 10-year history of this event, kind of makes it a little bit different being inside because people love the park. And, of course, they love it even more when they're able to be in the park rather than to have to transition to the inside. So we pray for great weather over the next 3 Sundays as we move through this journey. But I wanted to take a moment and do 2 things. First of all, I want to note that Jazz in the Park Huntsville is a free event. Free event. It is a high-quality event that is attended by a mature adult audience. In 10 years, we've never had a need to call the police. We've never had a need to call HEMSI, which is our emergency services facility. People behave themselves well. They clean the park up after they leave. This is one of the most beautiful experiences you'll ever have, and it is one of the most diverse communities that you'll see attending an event. It's a reunion for some people. It's an opportunity for some people to gather. People have celebrated graduations and birthdays, as myself. My birthday, September 19th. So I call every Sunday in September my birthday party in the park because we have great experiences down there. And it is free of charge because of sponsors who do the heavy lifting. When I started this with Bernard back in 2015, I learned from him that he was very passionate about keeping Jazz in the Park, Alabama free. He also said, Kenny, I want to do master classes inside of the school system. And so we started doing master classes. A lot of people don't know this. Master classes with some of our performers going into the school system in Huntsville and actually having intimate relationship and contact with the students, talking with them about not just being a high-performing artist or maybe a Grammy-nominated or Grammy Award-winning touring artist, but also things like why practice matters, studying and working together as a team and being on time and being able to communicate with other people and get along with other people, how to resolve conflicts and all kinds of stuff like that. It really is a beautiful space and a beautiful relationship that the sponsors have pitched in to ensure that these experiences remain free. So I want to thank everyone who's been a part of the event for this year. I don't have an all-inclusive list from every single year, but I want to make sure that everyone knows that this is an opportunity for us to be a part of community through the benevolence of people who care. First of all, City of Huntsville Office of Multicultural Affairs, which is my former office. Thank you to Dr. Randy Barber in that capacity. The whole City of Huntsville team has been amazing, whether that's our communications department, the print shop, so many others, the Huntsville Police Department out there. Just a lot of things going on. The Operation Green team, landscape management folk are out there, making sure we have trash cans. I mean, it's just a all hands on deck experience as a consequence of that. So we thank the City of Huntsville for everything that they've done. The Huntsville Music Office and my main man, Matt Mandrella, don't forget that this is Huntsville Music Month in the month of September. This is Women in Music Month. And there are lots of different events. I think there are over 600 events that will be taking place in Huntsville from September 1st to September 30th and all kinds of venues. Jazz in the Park is not the only one. It's one of the bigger ones, but we want you to support the music and we want you to support the arts in this area, and we hope that you'll do that. And, of course, my contractor, Downtown Huntsville, Inc., they have partnered with me and allowed me to be the event coordinator and producer. And I am very honored to serve in that capacity, as I have just extended the work that I started when I was in that position. And it's great working along with all of the folk who have been a part of that process and that journey. Our presenting sponsor, of course, Cynthia Joyner Real Estate Group, for the 5th year, has now come on board with a significant contribution to the success of Jazz in the Park. I can't say enough about Cynthia and what she does and what she means to this community, not just to this event, but just to this community. And we're so grateful to have her as the presenting sponsor once again this year. Our elite headline sponsor, Huntsville Utilities. And, of course, we're so proud and honored to have them on board. I want to shout out my man, Gary Whitley, who is my contact point there, who always seems to make this possible. Huntsville Utilities has been on board for about 9 years now. We didn't ask them that very first year, but in 2016, we started asking them for support, and they've been with us every year since consistently. We can count on them like clockwork, and it's just amazing. We thank them so much for what they've done. Our whole note sponsors this year, Amazon, our good friends at Amazon. I had a great working relationship with them when I was with the city. That relationship, of course, continues now with Jazz in the Park. Bankston Motor Homes, of course, has been with me since the beginning. They're inaugural sponsors. I went down and spoke to Chase Berlin, and I said, Chase, we're doing an event. Love to have an RV. Just something I'd seen before, thought about before. Chase said yes, and he's been saying yes ever since. And they've just been an amazing partner. They have extended their love to Launchpad, which is Matt's 2-day kickoff at the beginning of September, and have done other things around the city as well. And we certainly appreciate their support. I could not do this without the City of Huntsville's Parks and Recreation Department. They are on the spot every Sunday morning. I'm out in the park about 8:15, and they are setting up the stage and the tables and the chairs and the tents, and they're just doing everything out there to make sure that the experience when people get out there will be a positive experience. And then, of course, I always have an honorary sponsor for Magic City Smooth Jazz, because without Bernard Lockhart, this would not be possible. May he rest in peace. We lost Bernard in 2020, as a result of COVID in December of that year, and he is absolutely missed. But we are so grateful that his wife, Jackie, supports our efforts, and look forward to seeing her sometime during the concert season as well. They had a big concert last week, and I'll tell you about that in just a moment. Half Note sponsor, Bryant Bank. They've been with us since the beginning. Calhoun Community College, the Huntsville-Madison County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Shout out to them, some of my favorite folks in the city. I have skin in the game myself. I don't say it a lot, and I'm not going to go out there and promote, but my own nonprofit, Leadership Empowerment Enterprise, is a Half Note sponsor. I invest funds in this effort because I believe in it too. And I think if you're going to go out and ask people for something, you need to be willing to do something as well. Redstone Federal Credit Union, one of my early sponsors in this process, and I appreciate that. Representative Anthony Daniels, Representative Laura Halls, Representative Marilyn Lands, Representative James Lomax, Representative Rex Reynolds, all with our Alabama Madison County District delegation. I appreciate them for their contributions to the success of this event. And the Madison County Commission District 6 office, which has been with us from nearly the beginning of this. Currently, Commissioner Violet Edwards, just one of the most generous people I know in terms of just what she thinks about and cares about for this community. And I'm grateful to have them on board as partners. Oakwood University, of course, our swag bag sponsors. Shout out to them. Shout out to my good friend Ava Barksdale, who has facilitated that for 2 years now. And then David Chan with Peeling Trust, Charitable Trust, who is one of my favorite sponsors only because of how we met. David is one of those people who is a living manifestation of what anyone can do in this community. Find me in the park and say, I want to be a sponsor. You know, hey, David walked up to me and said, hey, how do I be a sponsor? Can I do it now? Or do I need to wait till next year? I mean, David was about the business, and he's been right there ever since, and I appreciate him and his support. He sees the value in the event. He sees everything that happens in the event, and I just want to shout him out. Our quarter note sponsors, Alabama A&M University, Cadence Bank, Cole Green State Farm Insurance, Drake State Community and Technical College, Tony and Gail Fisher, Knowles Insurance Agency, Mikael Buchanan, North Alabama Center for Educational Excellence, Renewal by Anderson, the Right Way 360 Wealth Group, Mercedes-Benz, and our in-kind donations from our caterers, Chef Jocelyn's Kitchen, Ramona J's, Forever Grateful, and G's Country Kitchen, as well as our media partners, WHRP 94.1 FM and WJAB 90.9 FM, our massager extraordinaire, masseuse extraordinaire, none other than Matthew Gallion. Matthew has a business called Essential Luxury Massage. You can always get your massage at Jazz in the Park. He sets up there every single year. We appreciate the support that he's provided. And once again, folks, I hope you'll support these people because they're the ones that make sure that Jazz in the Park remains free of charge. We could charge a ticket price for this, and we would get a good price. And it wouldn't even have to be any more than maybe $25 or $30. But we didn't even want to do that when we first started this. Bernard and I said, you know, people deserve to be exposed to high quality music at the lowest cost possible. And for us, that was free. So we assumed the responsibility of going out and beating the pavement and making sure that people understood what our vision was and perhaps would align with us. And we've had great success with that. So we certainly appreciate that and look forward to that. Now, on this evening, you need to know that last Sunday, of course, was All White Night. Each night has a theme. The theme for tonight is Rep Your Favorite Team. Show your favorite team spirit by wearing something that represents your favorite team. So you know where I'm going. It's football season, and that means I'm going to be repping the G-Men this afternoon. But you rep whoever you choose to rep. I may have a little A&M, something under that, too, because I'm a Bulldog through and through. And I may have an Oakwood thing with ambassadors. I don't know. Maybe I can get something made up with patches and things like that. I don't know. But, those are all my teams. And you just come out and rep your favorite team. It's optional. You don't have to do it. But it is a lot of fun when you do. And so we hope you'll consider that and be a part of that. On tonight, we got some phenomenal talent, folks. Our pre-opening act is a local group. Izzy and the Jazz Addicts are going to be performing from 5 to 5:30. Arissa Nicole, a young saxophonist out of the Bay Area in California, will be performing. She came a few years ago as the pre-opening act. She's actually the opening act this year, and she's a saxophonist. And then, of course, our very own Jazmin Ghent, who I'm about to interview on this broadcast in just a few moments, is the headliner. And, of course, Jazmin is a homegirl. She was born and raised right here in Huntsville, Alabama, grew up here in Huntsville, went to school here in Huntsville, and now is sailing the seven seas literally and beyond. Jazmin is a phenomenal talent, and we expect to see some big things from her on the stage on this Sunday night. So come on out, folks. She's going to be performing beginning at 7:30. Opening act will start at 6 and go to 7. and then we'll move forward from there. We got a lot of other things going on. As I said, there was a big legacy series honoring Bernard Lockhart last week. Shout out to Jackie Lockhart, her children Rachel and John, for a great event on last week that I know was sold out in Birmingham. I was able to send a video tribute, and I'm grateful to have been able to do that. But that was a very big deal to be able to do that. And so congratulations to Jackie. Look forward to seeing you soon. The Phillips AME Church and the PCEC Foundation present the 160th church anniversary. This will take place, a night of grace. It's a black tie gala that will take place on the night before my birthday, September 18th. I'm feeling celebratory, so I just may be there, folks. It's at the South Hall Ballroom in the Von Braun Center, and the keynote speaker is Pastor Dr. Jamal Bryant. He of the Target Blackout. And so he's going to be right here in Huntsville doing his thing on September the 18th. And we hope that you come on out and be a part of that. Like I said, my birthday's the 19th, so I just may, start hanging out there too. And I'm going to get a little bit of everything I can on this particular month. I'm squeezing every ounce out of September, folks. And I already want people who were born on October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. I might take a little bit of your thunder too, so look out. I'm feeling real motivated about life right now, so anything's possible. Of course, we just talked to Eddie Woods early. The CJC 2025 event is coming up. In fact, we're going to be talking with a group of people in just a little bit about that conference. It's taking place here in Huntsville, and it's a big deal, folks. It's called Overcoming Depression or Oppression. I said not depression, but, oppression can make you depressed, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different things with a lot of different speakers who are going to share perspectives and insight on how we can challenge oppression in our society today. You just look around a little bit. There's a lot going on in our lives, folks. We want to make sure that we address these things in ways that make sense. So in just a little bit, I'll have a group of people on talking about that. Of course, Dr. Batiste was on earlier talking about the big HELP conference that takes place on October 10th through the 12th in Jupiter, Florida. And we're looking forward to seeing you there. He'll be there. I'll be there. Danette, his wife, will be there. And a bunch of other good folks are going to be there. And they're going to make some outstanding presentations about being about that plant-based lifestyle. And, of course, that is something that is real meaningful to me. The 35th Annual Conference, Counseling and Treating People of Color, an International Perspective where Culture is the Mediator, takes place in Montgomery, Alabama on November 4th through the 7th. And yours truly will be one of the speakers there, as well as yours truly, David Person, who was one of the regular guests on this broadcast, and others as well who will be participating and contributing. Looking forward to seeing my good friend, Dr. Leon Sear from the West Coast, and also my good friend, Dr. Kim Clyett Long, who's also going to be a part of that event. We all got that Oakwood thing going on. So, you've known each other for decades. And whenever we have a chance where our intersections cross in these professional spaces, we certainly love that as well. So looking forward to that conference as well. It's coming up real soon. And then I'll have more to say about this now, but this is kind of a little save the date. I got a big jazz thing coming up here in Huntsville on December the 18th. It's Thursday, December 18th. You don't want to miss it. I'm telling you that right now. But you want to put that on your calendar. You want to make sure nothing else is going on that day or that night, because it's going to be epic, folks. And I will be announcing more about that over the next few weeks. So stay tuned, and we will let you know as much as we can, as soon as we can, about why you need to hold that date. I see my next guest is ready to roll, and I'm going to bring her into the feed in just a moment. But, we got to do our homework first and let you guys know who we are, what we're doing, and why we're doing what we're doing. So we'll do that first, and then we'll bring her in. I'm Kenny Anderson, the Second Chance. I hope that you're having an amazing afternoon.
Why do we say praise 90.1 FM? Because the blessing is in the praise.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Everything you've done for me. You've been kind.
filling your day with songs of praise. With Praise 90.1 FM.
Transforming lives.
Transforming lives.
You're listening to Second Chance with Kenneth Anderson.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Kenny Anderson. I hope that you're having a great afternoon. In just about 1 hour and a half from now, it's going to be heating up in Big Spring Park East. I promise you, if anybody was here, if anybody's listening right now, you were there last week, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And as we finished everything last week, we promised you that we were going to come back this week and we're going to do it even better this week. So here we are. Sunday, September the 14th, and we're ready to do it one more time. And we could not do it unless this next guest was a part of it. You might be wondering, how's she on the show today when she's supposed to be at the show? It's the work of magic, folks. It's the work of magic. Jazmin, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy to be part of the magic. How are you?
Hey, listen, you are the magic. You're not part of it. You are the magic.
Oh,
let me give you a proper introduction too, because I want people to really know who I'm talking to here. Dr. Jazmin Ghent is an award-winning international jazz saxophonist and educator. Over her brief career, she's become a decorated leader for the new generation of jazz, R&B, and gospel music, as well as an accomplished music educator. While always striving for the pinnacle of success, Jazmin received a bachelor's degree from Florida State University in jazz studies and music education, a master's degree from Tennessee State University in music education, and a PhD from the University of South Florida in music education. She's currently residing in none other than Ottawa, Canada. You know, I got to talk to you about that. With her husband, Maurice, a foreign services officer. She's a professor of music, teaching music education and music cognition at the University of Ottawa and Carleton University. She also teaches entrepreneurship in the arts virtual at Tennessee State University. Now, you might ask, why would I run into Jazmin out on the sea in the middle of the Dave Koz Jazz Cruise when she's doing all of this stuff? Well, we're going to tell you all about that story right here, right now. Jazmin, it really is good to see you.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you as well, whether boat or in this format.
I know. Listen, you really are one of my favorite people. And every time we have a chance to chat or talk, I'm just reminded about the first time we met. And of course, right around the first time we met is a little part of your journey, but I'm going to take you even further back because I saw your social media post where you were celebrating your return to Huntsville. And I am so happy to know that we can be a part of that as Jazz in the Park Huntsville to bring our Huntsville homegirl back here to let her do her thing. So tell us a little bit about the origins, and then we'll kind of walk our way up to the other stuff.
Oh, my goodness. Huntsville is a big part of who I am, what I do. I'm so grateful to be from Huntsville. I always say, just from all the music teachers from Sparkman High School, Indian Creek, PV Church, Primitive Baptist. I mean, all of that, playing at the jazz clubs in Huntsville, at the mall, Madison Square Mall, and I mean, everywhere, like all of that. I'm so grateful. It's such a unique upbringing. And I haven't been back to Huntsville in maybe I want to say 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're way overdue. There's no question about that. And listen, every time I get a lot of phone calls and text messages about Jazz in the Park, I probably have gotten more texts and phone calls about you coming to Huntsville than anyone else.
Oh,
and that
no.
doesn't, yeah, listen, it's not a comparative thing. What it is it's an excitement about you being here. I even got a call from your family at Indian Creek.
Oh, wow.
Who said they were excited and wanted to be a part of this and was asking me some questions and things. So Yeah, I don't know. We might make you an honorary citizen again and give you the key to the city. I don't know what we'll do, but I mean, it sounds like a pretty big thing is about to go down because I know you're going to just ignite the stage as well.
Man, I have to represent well and represent right. So, and then what you do, I do want to say, just commend what you do for the community of Huntsville. I'm always bragging about Huntsville, and it's just such a unique place. And for you to be part of that, just thank you for what you do. Okay.
Well, you're very welcome. And, you know, I do a little thing, or at least I did before the pandemic. It was called Have Yourself a Jazzy Little New Year. It was just a little something that I could always organize quickly as part of a fundraiser for a scholarship that I have at Calhoun Community College. I was very honored one year to bring Brian Simpson when I got a call about something that had happened with you and Brian Simpson, which kind of blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute. I'm trying to connect the dots here. Wasn't difficult, but tell us about that story.
Oh my goodness. I remember that like it was yesterday because I went on the Smooth Jazz Cruise. I was in Nashville at the time getting my master's at TSU. And they had this jazz competition, and my mom, she got me the ticket on the cruise, Smooth Jazz Cruise, and I played on the competition and I won the competition. And so here I am playing for, your Brian Culbertson, Marcus Miller, Candy Dolfer. I mean, Jonathan Miller. At this point, my knees are shaking, I'm sure. I was just nervous. And Brian Simpson was the musical director, and I spoke with him backstage, and here I am with like my little card. I'm like, if you ever need a saxophonist, you let me know. I'm from Huntsville. And sure enough, you have the New Year's event. Brian was playing for it. He asked me to join him. And of course, I'm like, yes. So I love that aligned. And that was, one of the first opportunities just to get into the jazz world.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing because I had not heard you play, but I knew Brian. And so I was like, well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me if you want her to play for you, great. It just will enhance the experience that we have on this celebratory occasion. And Jazmin, you dropped the mic that night. People saw you, they heard you, they did not forget you. And it was just one of those sort of amazing experiences that even in that moment, I didn't really even see as up and coming. I was like, man, she's arrived.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
And I've talked to you about this before, but you bring a kind of an energy and you bring some swag to the process as well. Whenever you playing, I mean, you're not playing with that sax at all. You're playing it as hard as it can be played. And I hope you'll talk to me a little bit about what your approach to your performance is like in terms of what do you see as what you're doing and how you want to do it.
I think there's so many different factors, and of course, one of the big things as I talk about my upbringing, I remember my mom told me, as far as playing in church, you're playing in church next Sunday. And I told her no, but sure enough, I was right there in the pulpit at Indian Creek, playing that next Sunday. And like all of those experiences taught me the importance of connection, and connecting with your audience. That's what music is all about. It's supposed to express me as a person. I love to have fun. And I think that music should be just, one of those experiences where we're all coming together in hopes of just having fun and having a good time. I also say, as far as like the energy and trying to bring that, one of my saxophone teachers, Nancy Hallman at Hallman's Music. I'm sure we're all familiar with the Hallman's Music. I remember when I first heard her play, here it is, this woman, and she has this ginormous sound. And I mean, just a force to be reckoned with. She has this baseball bat, if you don't play this right, and it was a styrofoam bat, but things like that, where it's just the power that she has, all of those have a big influence on my playing in present day.
Listen, it's just amazing to see you. And I know a lot of people here have seen you. We had some friends from Memphis this past week that came and, Jazmin's performing next week. We're going to come back. So people are really excited about your performance, and we look forward to it. We've been talking about it on this broadcast and, of course, throughout the community. And people are really primed and ready for this to happen. And I think it's just going to be an awesome experience. What can the people from Huntsville and the Jazz in the Park Huntsville experience, what can they expect from you this afternoon?
Oh my goodness. I think it's all about, I always say, having fun. Each song that I play, there's different vibes. There's a Latin song. There's many songs that have that really highlight my roots, like what I grew up listening to, soulful music, um, church music, good gospel music, things like that, and funk music. I mean, so they can expect everything. They can expect to work with it. We'll find out what that is. It's kind of just dancing. I want it to be interactive, and I really want everyone to have a good time. So we'll have it together.
Yeah. Can we expect you to see you walking around in the crowd?
Yes, I'm gonna put on the special heels,
The crowd walking heel.
Yes, the crowd walking heel. You know what? And I need one of these Jazz in the Park Huntsville shirts. That looks so awesome.
Done. We'll talk sizing, but done.
Sounds good.
Done. Well, I'll have it for you on Sunday.
It sounds good.
So here's the thing. I think that, and I'm going to give you a quick backstory for myself. People will ask me all the time because they know what I do in this particular space. They're like, do you play? Well, no, I don't play, but I always got to tell them about that 5th grade experience when I played the sax. And yeah, I did, Jazz.
Oh, man.
Yeah, 5th grade, I played the sax and I got kind of good with it. I mean, I rehearsed, I practiced, I did everything I could. I played in the year-end program, a little solo. And the next year, I transferred to a school that didn't have a band. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of went away. Parents really couldn't afford lessons and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of went away. And so I don't always think about what could have been. I mean, I could have been the first Jazmin Ghent. But, I don't think about what could have been, but I just think what you do, in addition to all the other cool things that you do, we're going to talk about some of that in a moment, has to be one of the most amazing experiences in the world. Talk to me about what it's like to be out on that stage performing and traveling and, learning new music and working with people. What is that experience like?
Absolutely. I think the beauty to it is life is a journey, and music is a way of recording that journey, right? I like for all of my music to reflect what life is looking like. So if I'm learning just being peaceful and sitting still and just gratitude, I really want a song to reflect that, or amends, making peace with the past, all those kinds of things. I think with music, thankfully on the weekends it's usually traveling, and then during the week is that time to reflect, to write, practicing, for me teaching as well. So it's a very unique lifestyle. I love having the balance of teaching and also playing, because I feel like it's almost practicing what I preach. That's the goal, but it's also juggling.
Yeah, I was doing that podcast at one time, Jazz with Kenny Anderson, during the pandemic when we couldn't go into the park, and I was really trying to keep the brand alive and stay connected. And you were very gracious to give me some time on that podcast platform. And I remember at the time you were, when did you get your doctorate?
That I started my doctorate during COVID.
That's right. So we actually talked about you starting the doctorate, and I was really excited for you for that. And I hope you'll talk to us a little bit about just that educational journey that you've been on, because it has ended with a terminal degree now, but you clearly have some investment in that space as a music educator. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I think education in general is so important. I mean, what an honor to have a hand in the future of this world, in the future of society, in the future of music. And I told myself whatever accolades or whatever merit I need to get in order to have a hand in that is why I got my doctorate. So I know it goes beyond me. During my doctorate, I had worked with preschool students. I was coming up with the curriculum just to make jazz fun. I think one thing is we always think about how highbrow jazz can be. Kids can't, improvise, and improvise is just making up something on the spot. So not making it where it's only for an older age. So that was my primary focus, making jazz fun and accessible. I think education should be accessible. I even worked with a program where it's called Recycle Tunes, and we got instruments in the kids' hands, and we were able to improvise with those, whether it be recorders, little we call them orph instruments like xylophones. But that's my life purpose. So whether that's through connecting with my music or with students and the curriculum I developed, everything is just making music accessible for everyone.
Yeah. What was your dissertation on?
It was so there's some brainy things in there too, but
we're ready for it.
Yeah. But so it was developing a jazz curriculum for early age students, so jazz exposure, in hopes that it would enhance their cognitive functions. So executive functions like their attention span, their working memory, things I think adults can also work on too. So
this is academics, so it's got to be a little brainy, right?
Absolutely.
So were there key takeaways that you took from that experience of doing the dissertation?
Oh my goodness. Well, I definitely don't want to see another book or paper. That's a takeaway for me. That's a personal takeaway. But I opened my eyes. I had some. I was very surprised. You have people who study the work of music, the art of music making, but may not necessarily play an instrument. So it taught me that there are different ways to be creative. It doesn't necessarily have to be like instrument in the hands creative, because initially that was kind of mind-boggling. I'm like, what? This is, So I also learned that there are quite a few gatekeeping mechanisms out there that I think I would love to be a part of that changing that to where, even whether it be the terminology that's used, certain things like that in higher academia, I would love to, for example, my students now at the University of Ottawa, even though they're undergraduate students, I tell them, hey, we're going to look at these articles. We're going to read this. We're going to come up with a literature review. All these things you see in your master's, you may see in your doctorate. Let's look at these things now so you can be prepared. I don't want them to be surprised. So try to eliminate any gatekeeping elements. There's many things I learned, but it was a great experience.
Yeah, but you're not going to do that postdoctoral thing.
No. No, I don't think so. Research, yes, but
right. Listen, I'm with you. I'm okay. It's all right. So, I got you're a captive audience right now. So you got to tell us about your husband, Maurice, and how'd you guys meet and how did he propose?
Oh my goodness. So he's a Foreign Service officer. He works on economic trade between US and Canada. So we definitely have different careers, but the way we met, you may be familiar with, what is it? Someone I went to church with at Indian Creek. His name is Nick Miller. And his father is, very, very involved in the community too, his whole family. But he posted my new CD that I had. He said, hey, check out my friend's CD. And my husband is his fraternity brother. And he saw the post and he said, you know her? Tell me a little bit about her, blah, blah, blah. He sent me a message and it was really professional. And I thought he was starting a jazz festival. He was not starting a jazz festival. But it worked. It really worked.
Right.
He tells people now he was inquiring about a jazz festival for one. So
I like his style.
Oh my goodness. You'll see when you meet him. He's so excited too. And yeah.
So the proposal, tell us about the proposal now.
We were in Italy, actually. So it was his birthday trip. And we took this beautiful walk along the coast, it's Amalfi Coast. And there's a place called the Infinity Terrace. And it was, the scenery, everything, it was just absolutely beautiful. And you know how they say, here, take a picture, turn this way.
Right.
And of course I turned around and he was,
oh,
he was with the ring. So it was really beautiful.
Wow.
Surprise.
Wow. That was very nice. He's got clearly he's got some creative taste in terms of doing these kinds of things. Got a little romance in him, a little intimacy in him. I love that.
Absolutely. I'm very grateful. I'm a blessed woman. I'll definitely say that.
That's terrific. I'm really happy for you all. And again, I'm getting to kind of vicariously watch your journey as I guess our event at the it was the Huntsville Museum of Art. That was somewhere around 2012, maybe something like that, 11, 12.
So it was, I want to say it probably was around that time.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe like 13.
Yeah, maybe 13,
14,
maybe.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've known you a little over 12 years now, and just so much has happened during that time. You're living in Canada right now. What has that been like for you?
It's Canada is beautiful, cold. Everyone is really kind. We're in Ottawa, so very close to Montreal and Toronto. And it's an interesting time to be in Canada as well, because I wouldn't even know where to start, especially with what my husband does as well. Sometimes we have those challenges. What I can say is the work-life balance is a bit different than the States. I think it's safe to say maybe the quality of life, we can be very like go, 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 sometimes money motivated. And I don't see that as much here. So it's very interesting and a good breath of fresh air. Everyone's really nice.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And speaking of nice, I know that you have a very special relationship with your parents. You love them, you adore them, you celebrate them whenever you have the opportunity to do so. And so whether that's a wedding anniversary, a birthday, or some other special occasion. So, I got to give you that opportunity to shout out those wonderful people in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My dad, he works security intelligence at Redstone Arsenal. So he, both retired, both my parents, but they are just so supportive, so amazing. They were there sitting at the jazz clubs. They were there, sitting in church. And all of these things that it really takes a village. And I'm grateful for my village. My mom is a retired teacher, so she inspired me to teach. She taught for 30 plus years, like 35 years, retired, and also taught at Hazel Green Elementary. So everything is, I'm just so grateful for them and their support.
Yeah. It's got to be, for you, a point of gratitude, because that's not always the case. And if you can have that kind of journey with your parents, I think that's such a beautiful and incredible thing, and such a blessing in life as well. What does Jazmin do for fun?
Oh my goodness. We definitely have a dog, so I love playing with him. This is going to sound crazy, but I love cooking like these internet recipes.
Oh.
And like experimenting on my husband is like, try this, try that. Because there's so many different things out there. So I do love cooking, working out, just all of those things that even just walking, something simple like that. I have more gratitude for that now. I learned that a lot during COVID too.
Yeah. You do you think you and Maurice are children in the future for you guys?
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I think that, especially being a teacher and stuff like that. So I think in the future that would be awesome.
Yeah. We make sure, as part of Jazz in the Park, and I know you're going to be doing a music education workshop while you're in town tomorrow. And so talk to me a little bit about, and this is obviously, I'll pat myself on the back if I need to, but it's not for the pat on the back, but we really, Bernard Lockhart and I really thought strategically about what this looks like. And it was important for us to say two things. Number one, Jazz in the Park has to remain free. So let's take the responsibility of going out there and get those sponsors. And number two, let's take advantage of leveraging the talent that we're bringing, which is extraordinary talent, and give them an opportunity to really connect with these students. We started out doing just general music classes, but now we take them into the room with the jazz class. So that's pretty amazing, I think, when I think about it. And as a person who doesn't necessarily play, but promotes and loves, and talk to me about it from your perspective as somebody who performs and is a music educator, about why that has value.
That is so important so important. And thank you so much for doing that, because everyone doesn't have that vision. I think this is a way of binding community together as well. The reason why I think music education or students may feel like they may not be able to play is sometimes just not seeing it. If you don't see someone doing it, you don't think you may be able to do it. And so the reason why I love doing workshops, and thank you for this opportunity, I want the students to feel like if you ever have any questions, if you want to know anything about the music business, if you have an interest, or you just don't know what you want to do, I would love to be a resource and say, here's some different occupations in the music industry. Here's some things I've experienced. Here are some challenges. And also music is a great way of like finding yourself, which I'm continuing to do that. But what do you like to listen to? What do you want to sound like? And so those are the things I'll be talking about. I want to meet them where they are and what their interests are. And I think that's a bit of a challenge with music in present day. We want to put, Western classical music on students, and you play this, you play the Bach, you play the Mozart. But what if they aspire to be a pop artist or a DJ or a producer or a manager? There's so many options out there, and I just want to bring that to their attention. So that's my goal.
The day will come, of course, it won't happen anytime soon, but the day will come when Jazmin Ghent will look in the rearview mirror of her life and her career and think about all the experiences that she's had and all the people she's met and all the places she's gone. What do you hope will be at the core of that experience as you reflect on your past in terms of what you will have done and what really matters for you at that time?
Wow. I would just take out the word you, or like myself, out of the equation. I want to make sure that whatever I've done, that I leave a legacy of just continual music making, inspiration. I hope to just contribute, to have made a contribution to the future of the world, of the future of music. Even like more women in jazz music, things of that nature. That's one thing I hope to inspire through my actions, through my work, through teaching. That's my goal.
Well, you're definitely doing that now. And so, it's not hard to be able to see you reflecting on your life. And then that's all a part of that journey, because that's exactly where you are right now. And I am a fan.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm a fan, and we're looking forward to you performing right here in Huntsville, Alabama, in just a few hours from now at Jazz in the Park, Huntsville 2025. She's Jazmin Ghent. She is Huntsville's own. And y'all better come on down to the park and show some love. There should be like a line a mile long with people trying to just get close to you and say hello.
I don't know about a mile long, if anything. But just, so humbled to be back. So excited to be back. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for all that you do. And I know we're going to have a good time. That's all it's about.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's done, and it's rock your favorite jersey night too. So, you're going to see a sea of just, I'm already claiming New York because I'm from New York Giants, but I also might have, I said, a little A&M thing on, a little Oakwood thing on too. I just haven't decided yet.
I see it. Maybe a mixture of everything. A&M, Oakwood.
Right. Or maybe twin caps. So I have one facing this way and one facing this way. I don't know. I'll figure something out.
That I believe in you.
Jazmin, how can people follow you on social media? Because I know you have a presence and a website.
Oh, absolutely. So everything is under my name, Jazmin, Jazmin, Ghent, Ghent, music.com. And as far as social media, that's also under my name, Jazmin Ghent, Jazmin, Ghent.
She's not hiding from anyone. She's Jazmin Ghent.
Not yet.
And we love that we have had an opportunity to shine a little light on her life and her journey. Jazmin, best wishes to you. I look forward to seeing you later today in Big Spring Park, where you headline at 7:30 p.m.
Awesome. Look forward to it as well.
All right. See you then. Jazmin really is one of my favorite people, folk, and it's just an honor and a pleasure to be able to talk to her this afternoon. Boy, I just tell you, I'm just so fortunate and blessed to be able to have all of these dynamic and wonderful conversations with people from time to time on this broadcast. And, you know, the beat just kind of goes on and on and on. And as the beat goes on, we have other individuals who are going to be joining me at this time. And they're going to also be sharing some great information about some things that are going on in the community. And I am happy to bring them in right now. We're not even going to do any music. We're just going to make the transition real smooth because they're sitting in the virtual green room waiting and ready to roll. Let me do a little introduction first. The Conscience and Justice Council is having its annual conference right here in the city of Huntsville, Alabama. If you're listening right now, you may not know anything about this, but by the time we get done, you're going to know everything about it, and you're going to want to sign up and be a part of it. And that's why we're here to talk about this afternoon. I first want to recognize the person at the lead of this process. He's not here today, but he wanted to make sure that you all got as much information about this as you possibly could. But Elder Edward Woods III serves as the Public Affairs and Religious Liberty Director for the Lake Region Conference, and he is the chairperson of the Conscience and Justice Council. He's a fiery advocate for democracy and justice. He raises his voice to protect the dignity of humanity through accountability, and he's bringing all of that energy to Huntsville, Alabama in the very near future, and we look forward to seeing exactly what's happening. But with us this afternoon, person I haven't seen in a while, man. I'm just so happy to see Derek. I don't know what to do. I feel like coming out to the coast, man, and to the West Coast and check up on you or something, man. Pastor Derek Lane serves as the Outreach Ministries Director and Regional Ministries Coordinator for the Washington Conference. He has an extensive experience in pastoral ministry and capacity building for community and faith-based organizations. My man, Derek Lane, what's happening, man?
Kenny, good to see you, man. Good to see you, and our guest as well. We appreciate it, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
It's been a long.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Look, it's been a long minute, man. I just feel like it's been too long, actually, and I keep reminding myself in these moments that, again, life is transitional and we're busy and lots of stuff is going on. But, I just have to be even more intentional with my connectivity with others, even if it's just to send a text to say, hey, what's up? Thinking about you, praying for you, something like that. So it really is good to see you this afternoon. Thank you for being here. Stephanie Scott is with us this afternoon. And Stephanie serves as the Human Resource Director for the great, I say the great because I'm part of this conference as well, the great South Central Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. I'm not trying to slight any of the conference, by the way. I'm just saying, since I'm part of that conference and I got the mic right now, I'm the host, I get to say those kinds of things. For more than 25 years, Stephanie's expertise in HR strategy, employee relations, and organizational development has garnered respect from her employers and peers in the industry. We welcome her to the broadcast this afternoon. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great because you look like you've got all the answers.
I don't know about that.
Well, you have some answers at least.
I got a lot.
Okay, well, good. We'll start there because we've got listeners this afternoon who want to know, what is this CJC 2025 all about? And again, we're going to let them know exactly what's going on. Pastor Paul Goodridge, I see you out there. I am happy to see you.
Thank you.
I'm happy to know that you're joining our conversation and will be able to share information from us on behalf of the Oakwood University Church. You're representing that population, I believe, today, as well as perhaps some other entities. But listen,
sure.
just glad to have you here today and looking forward to a great conversation. And of course, you have the perfect background.
Once I got it right.
Let me ask this question. I'm only doing this because Pastor, you're based here, Pastor Goodridge, you're based right here in Huntsville. This is where it's going to take place. Yeah. Just tell us generally about this amazing conference that people need to be a part of and why.
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me. And yes, while I serve as one of the associate pastors for administration at the Oakwood University Church. My other hat is actually the Public Affairs and Religious Liberty Director for the South Central Conference. And so as host, as such, we are hosting this conference. We've had this conference for 10 years. It rotates around the country, and we're bringing it home to the South, the cradle of civil rights. And so we are excited, September the 25th through the 28th, to host this amazing, insightful, inspiring, energetic, information-filled, transformational conference. This year, the theme is overcoming oppression, biblically dismantling abuses of power. And, you know, one of the things that I love about this conference is the content, the caliber of speakers that we have. And so beginning, Thursday through Sunday is when the actual workshop is taking place. But for those who may be coming from around the country or even internationally, because we do have some people who come to the conference internationally, they may never have been to Birmingham, Alabama. And so being able to, on the Wednesday, we have a pre-conference, which will take a tour of Birmingham, Alabama, specifically 16th Street Baptist Church and the Birmingham Civil Rights Museum. And so it will be a guided tour, an informational tour, just an amazing opportunity to kind of get an idea of where we are and where we've come, and frankly, how far we still have to go in the area of, you know, not just civil rights, but just rights in general, just again, dismantling abuses of power. And then beginning Thursday afternoon, we have a number of workshops, a number of seminars, plenary sessions, networking opportunities, times of fellowship, eating together, strategizing together, learning from each other, and, you know, all culminating on Sunday, in which there will be like a Shark Tank type presentations in terms of how individuals, how churches are practically doing things to impact their community, to make a difference in their community as we seek to overcome oppression in all its forms. So that's just a 10,000 mile high view of the events, and we have some terrific speakers I can tell you about a little bit later. I'm just excited.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm already signed up, but I want to sign up again after listening to that, because you're kind of creating an energy that I think is easy for people to relate to, particularly because of some of the things that we're experiencing today. And not just as of today, but in this sort of time frame in which we've seen transition and challenge in a lot of different areas. And Pastor Lane, I wonder, as you listen to Pastor Goodridge speak, you know, I mean, I'm just sitting here going, wow, yeah, that note, yeah, right, yeah, okay, yeah, that. It's like, it's this all-inclusive kind of thing that's happening in my mind that brings people in a space to really address relevant issues and challenges that they're facing. Things that are likely affecting them in their communities, on their jobs, perhaps in their faith communities, and more. And it sounds like this is a one-stop shop for just a few days to kind of navigate that process and connect the dots. Your thoughts?
Yeah, very much so. I tell you, I'm excited about the opportunity to engage and to work with so many of my friends. And to give me an example, Catalyst for Change, finding common ground on public affairs, religious liberty, collaborating with various demographic groups. Those are just some of the topics that will be explored during our session. And we're happy to have you with us as well. I don't know how we can transition, but listen, man, you've been a fixture in your community, and for you to be a part of our conference is going to be an experience as well. So we'll get a chance to hear from many presenters and folks from around the country. but our own local celebrities will be with us as well, including yourself. So, man, what a blessing it'll be to be able to connect with you again, as well as the other presenters and guests.
And I'm going to make sure to find that person that you're talking about.
Hey,
I
will.
He's right here.
Yes.
Look at Pastor Goodridge. Stephanie, let me ask you this question. Pastor Lane spoke, and I'm even more excited. You know, one of the things that strikes me when we have these kinds of experiences and opportunities is that this is exactly what people need. This is the answer to the questions that they may have when they're kind of sitting around and hearing about things going on, and they feel that all they can do is react. But this is an opportunity to develop a intentional, strategic, and proactive strategy to be able to move forward, to understand the landscape in a variety of different areas. I wonder what your thoughts are about the relevance of a conference like this in times like these.
So, first of all, it's good to speak to you. I actually live in Huntsville, so let me say a couple things. Number one, I'm actually on the West Coast. I'm in Portland, so I'm trying to get past jet lag from yesterday.
Oh, my.
But I actually live in Huntsville, and interestingly enough, I've actually never been to Birmingham. That's crazy. Wow. So I actually am going on the pre-conference tour, so I'm really excited because I haven't been there yet. But what I will say, I need to add this caveat too. I've been in Huntsville since 2019, so I guess I should have made it there, but I'll be there coming up.
Right.
I think one of the things that makes it relevant for people, I know we have Pastor Goodridge and Pastor Derek there, but this conference is for lay people. And I think that sometimes it gets missed. This conference, and I've gone to the last 4 or 5 of them, it gives you practical strategies that you as a church member or you as a community member can do to make a difference in your life, in the lives of your community. And I think that that's worth saying. A lot of times we have conferences and people will expect their pastors to go or their leadership to go, but this is for everybody. It's not just a conference thing. It's not just a pastor thing, but it is definitely a community event. And if you are serious about making change in your community, this is the conference that you need to be at.
It strikes me, and I'm glad you said that, Stephanie. This conference strikes me, and this experience strikes me as something that people can literally come to and walk away with a plan. Or at least, or the capacity to begin thinking about things that they may not have thought about, or understanding that there's a networking opportunity. You know, a lot of times we deal with things, we think we're dealing with them in isolation. But this is a conference that seems like it's wide open. And to the point that all of you made again, the icing on the cake for me and the secret sauce is this trip to Birmingham. This says you guys are serious about what you're doing, because Stephanie, I have been there lots of times, and I've been to the 16th Street Baptist Church, and I'm a member actually of the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, but I've done that because of my investment in social justice causes, and I've made it a point to make sure I take advantage of these opportunities, and I'm so glad that this conference, with intentionality, thought about creating an opportunity and space for your participants to take this collective journey, because once again, I think at times like these, we need to be together. Pastor Goodridge?
Yes.
So that's the beauty of this conference. And I want to illustrate it a little bit more in terms of just highlighting some of our speakers and some of the presentations, because we have some of the leading minds in the United States coming to this conference and pouring into us and sharing with us. So we have Dr. Tracy Gendron, who serves as chair for the Virginia Commonwealth University Department of Gerontology. She's the director for the Virginia Center on Aging. She's a recognized author of the book Ageism Unmasked, Exploring Age Bias and How to End It. And so when we're talking about dismantling abuses of power, we're talking about ableism and ageism in the community. And so she's going to come to address that. This is for all people. So we have Roman Palomares, who's the president of the League of United Latin American Citizens, which is the largest and oldest Hispanic organization in the United States. And so he is going to be coming to talk about how all for one and one for all, not only the challenges within the Hispanic community, but the need for collaboration with the Hispanic community and how partnerships can be formed to address common concerns. We also have John C. Yang, who is the president and executive director of Asian Americans Advancing Justice. And this advocates for everybody to experience equally and contribute to the American dream. And so he's going to be talking about, again, not only the concerns within the Asian community, but how we can collaborate and work together to address common issues. We have Dr. Ryan Burge, who is the professor of practice at the John C. Danforth Center for Religion and Politics at Washington University. He is one of the preeminent scholars of religion and politics, and he's going to be addressing the changing political leanings within churches and the voting practices within churches and denominations, especially within the African American community, and more specifically within the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And that's just, we have Bishop Melvin Burton, Michigan Western Jurisdiction Prelate, Refreshing Fountain Outreach Ministries, the Church of God in Christ. And he's going to be speaking about how churches and denominations can work together to dismantle oppression and abuses of power. Because, Kenny, this is not going to be done by one small group here or one small group there. I was listening to your show a few weeks ago, and it reminded me of the poem, and I can't remember the title, I can't remember the speaker, it's going to come, but basically they came for us. You know, first they came for the, you know, socialists, etc., and finally there was no one else left to speak for us. And forgive me for butchering it, but the idea of you know, Martin Luther King talks about, you know, discrimination, oppression, you know, anywhere is you know, it's everywhere. And so this is an opportunity for us not only to be galvanized to do something, but also learn about what is going on from a different section of society that we may not have thought of, that we can slip into their shoes and say, yeah, we've got to do something, and we can do something.
Yeah, absolutely. You're referencing Martin Niemeyer's comment and the whole notion of, you know, you go after one group of people, it's not me, so you don't think about it. Go after another group, don't think about it, it's not me. But then there's nobody left, so they're coming for you. So just understand that while you're sitting on the sidelines feeling cozy and comfortable and isolated, pretty soon it's going to be your turn. Absolutely. Pastor Lane, I wanted to ask you this question because, oh, wow, what excitement about this thing. And when you start thinking about the dimensions of individuals who've been asked to be a part of this, you think about the diversity within this, you know, that's my thing. You start talking about bringing different voices that represent different interests, and then we can collectively learn about what the challenge is and define what we're going to do about it. That's what this is all about. And I know that we shared some of those common thoughts as we've talked over the years about various things and making sure that we're not building walls around ourselves and living in silos. This is so important.
It is. It is very, very important. It's not just the areas that we focus on, but the speakers and what have you, but also the breakout sessions themselves. I think Paul alluded to those as well. Incredible. The systems, the issues that we'll be facing and challenging. And so we're just encourage everyone to come. We'll be there September 25 to 28. Overcoming oppression, biblically dismantling abuses of power. And those are the issues we'll be tackling and working on. And we look forward to everyone coming out and joining us.
Yeah, Stephanie, talk to me a little bit about you are an HR professional, so you are a resident expert today. As you look at the landscape and some of the challenges of oppression within the context of the workspace, how do you feel right now about the response to some of these challenges? And how does a conference like this align with helping people really kind of see through solutions or look towards solutions?
Wow. Yeah. There is, as you know, because you're an expert in this as well, there is a culture, a workplace culture that we have to be attentive to as well. In your workshop with Leadership Empowerment Enterprise, man, you train on this as well. My hope and prayer is that as we gather together as leaders, as those who are sensitive to workplace culture and finding places that are culturally sensitive, that are healthy and not toxic. It's not just topics that we'll be dealing with, but the opportunity to talk about workplace culture and how to thrive, how to survive, how to maneuver and get along and figure out how to deal with the interesting challenges that are outside forces that tend to impact our ability to work and to engage on that level. So I'm just looking forward to all of it and dealing with issues of the topics and subjects and culture. It's going to be a good experience. It'll be a great experience.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Stephanie.
let me. Yeah, I would add the other thing that's interesting and from an HR, like a professional standpoint. One of the challenges that we are all facing are the issues of legal individuals being able to legally work in the United States and so forth. We are seeing that as a huge problem.
Yes.
In the Seventh-day Adventist Church, one of the biggest areas where we're having challenges is in hiring educators. And so what a lot of the conferences are doing across North American Division right now are going outside of the United States. So they're issuing H-1B visas in order to get enough individuals to come into the country. But at the same time, we know that there's an issue of immigration that's being headed by the leadership of our country, ICE invasions, and so forth. And so this conference will give people opportunities to sort of discuss that. I know one of the presenters is Andrea Stewartson. She is an immigration attorney that will be there to talk specifically about immigration rights and employment and those kinds of things. And so that's one of the things that we have challenges with as a conference, our workforce. We have individuals who are working with us who are on visas. We need to be prepared in case ICE decides to come in and raid our organization, and that's just us. That same challenge may be at our schools. I don't know if anybody watched the news last week, but there was an immigration raid in two places last week. One is at a food packing plant in New York, upstate New York, and it was a huge thing. Now, everybody there was fine, but we have a responsibility to be prepared to protect our employees, those who may be here on visas, work visas, or what have you. And so those kinds of things this conference addresses. And it may not solve the entire problem. So I don't want anybody to think, oh, you're going to come to this conference and in 3 days, you're going to have the secret sauce. But you will have enough tools in your toolkit and enough networking opportunities that you'll know who to call when you run into, a particular issue or concern. So.
Well, I want to thank all of you for the information that you've shared today. As I said, I'm really energized and focused and motivated to be a part of this, even beyond just being a small part of the program. I want to be there to drink from the fire hydrant as well and get as much information as I possibly can, because this is not a dormant experience. This is a fluid experience. It's constantly moving and evolving and changing and growing and, informing. And so I want to be a part of that and plugged in the best way I can. So let's let people know where they can get information about the conference, and let's give them that call to action today. We'll give you the website, folks, and then you'll go ahead and check it out.
So the website is cjcouncil.org. cjcouncil.org. And if you go there, you'll see where the convention for 2025, you can click on that link. It will take you to the registration page. But the beauty is it will also show you some highlights of past conventions. So you can kind of get a flavor and an idea about some of the things that we have been talking about, whether it's healthcare
disparities.
My mind is thinking faster than I can talk. I'm so excited about this. You'll see in terms of voting, gerrymandering and redistricting, something that we talked about 2 years ago. And it had experts coming in now. So you'll be able to kind of get a flavor of what we've done in the past. You'll see the agenda for what we're going to do this year, and it will give you an opportunity to register. Now, not only should you register in terms of the conference, and we've extended the early bird registration, so you may want to take advantage of that. It's just a couple of days left. So you may want to take advantage of that. But also, while it's going to take place at the Embassy Suites, if you're in Huntsville or locally, then you don't necessarily have to stay at the Embassy Suites. But for those who are considering coming from out of town, you want to try to book your room at the Embassy Suites under the CJC rate as quickly as possible, because those rooms are going fast.
We thank you for
CJCouncil.org.
CJCouncil.org, CJCouncil.org. And we want lots of people to go check it out. And I see some of y'all, some of y'all like, I heard you and I'll get back to it later. No, write that information down, log on, because I know you're sitting in front of a computer or with a phone right now. I know who you are. Go ahead and do it right now. Don't wait. CJCouncil.org. Find out about all this great information.
Sorry, Kenny. CJ Council.
Yeah, CJ Council, right?
Correct.
.org. Yes. Boy, Pastor Paul Goodridge, man, come back on this show anytime you want. Pastor Derek Lane, anytime you want. Stephanie Scott, anytime you want. You guys are a wealth of knowledge and information. Thank you so much for elevating my platform today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Your
to
work
God
as
be
well,
the glory.
man. Thank you.
Amen.
All right, folks, that wraps us up for today. What a great show. What a great round of guests and information sharing. And you should be inspired like I am. CJCouncil.org is where you can get more information about this incredible event that's about to take place right here in Huntsville in just a couple of weeks. You don't want to miss it. You want to take advantage of it, especially if you're right here in this area. I'm going to come back in just a minute and tell you what's happening next week. I'm Kenny Anderson at Second Chance. Hope you're having a great afternoon.
Perhaps you have some ideas, comments, or suggestions that you would like to share. Or perhaps you'd like to be a guest on the broadcast. We'd love to hear from you. Please feel free to email Kenny Anderson at mxlife@aol.com, or you can like us on the Second Chance Facebook page. That's 2ND Chance. And now, back to more of Second Chance with Kenny Anderson.
What an awesome show today. Dr. Columbus Batiste, interventional cardiologist, joining me, and also the co-founder of Healthy Heart Nation, talking about the big HELP conference that's taking place on October 10th through the 12th in Jupiter, Florida. You definitely want to be a part of that. Jazmin Ghent, who's going to be tuning it up at Big Spring Park West in just about 3.5 hours from now as the headliner for 2025 Jazz in the Park. We hope that you'll definitely touch base with us down there. The music begins at 5 and then goes right on until 9 o'clock this evening. It's all free. Come on out. And then we also spoke with Pastor Derek Lane, Pastor Paul Goodridge, and also Stephanie Scott about the big CJC 2025 conference about battling and neutralizing and eradicating oppression. And we hope that you'll come out and be a part of it. Overcoming oppression is the title, but we want to do all of those things to oppression to get it out of our way. I will be back on next week with another edition of the broadcast. It's my What's Going On segment, my political, social, and cultural roundtable. I hope that you're a part of that, and we'll look forward to talking to you again very soon. In the meantime, remember, as always, knowledge is better than riches. Have a great afternoon, and we'll talk again soon. Good day.
Thank you for tuning in to Second Chance. We hope that the information that was shared has been a blessing to you and that your life will be enriched as a result of it. We'd love to hear from you, so please send your email comments to Kenneth Anderson at mxlife@aol.com. That's mxlife@aol.com. And check out our Facebook page, 2ND Chance. That's 2ND Chance. In the meantime, have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week. Good day.